Every human being on this earth is born with two invisible forces shaping their destiny. One is faith, the quiet, unshakable power that builds empires out of dreams. The other is fear, the silent thief that steals from you everything you were meant to become. The question, my friend, isn't whether fear exists in your life. The question is, has fear quietly taken command of your steering wheel while you're sitting in the passenger seat pretending you're the driver? Fear is the most cunning adversary you will ever face. It wears a disguise so subtle, so familiar, that most people never see its shadow until it has already claimed their potential. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers in your mind just before you take a bold step forward. What if you fail? What if they laugh? What if you lose everything? Those three words, what if you fail, have buried more dreams than poverty, more ambition than defeat, and more courage than death itself. But listen carefully. Fear is not real in the way you think it is. Fear is a story you're telling yourself about a future that hasn't even happened. It's a fiction novel you've written in your mind, and you've been reading it every morning and calling it your reality. The truth is, your fear is the most obedient servant you have, and yet you're treating it like your master. Every great leader you've ever admired, every successful person you've ever studied, began as a trembling human just like you. What separates them from the masses is simple. They trained fear to work for them, not against them. When fear said, "You can't," they said, "Watch me." When fear shouted, "You're not ready," they whispered, "I'll never be ready, so I might as well begin now." If you would pause your life for a moment right now and trace every decision you regret, every opportunity you let slip by, every dream you shelved for another day, you would find fear sitting at its root, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of change, fear of success itself. The most tragic thing about fear is not that it stops you. It's that it disguises itself as logic, as caution, as responsibility. It convinces you that hiding is wisdom, that waiting is preparation, that comfort is safety. But comfort, my friend, is the slow poison that robs you of your purpose. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself on your deathbed many years from now with a quiet room and fading light. You look back on your life. What would hurt more? The times you tried and failed, or the times you never even dared? That vision you had when you were young, the one that made your heart race. What did it become? Too often, dreams die not because of defeat, but because of delay. And delay is fear's favorite victory. There's a secret the truly wealthy, fulfilled, and powerful know. Fear is energy, raw energy. And like fire, it can burn your house down or it can warm your home. The key lies in mastering it. When fear shows up, you have a choice. You can bow to it or you can harness it. The moment you step forward, in spite of fear, you rob it of its strength. You dissolve its illusion. Fear feeds on your hesitation. Every time you delay, it grows stronger. Every time you act, it weakens. Each step you take toward your dream is a declaration that you refuse to be ruled by invisible chains. Your mind is the battlefield, and your faith is the sword. The person who controls their mind controls their world, and fear can only survive in an undisciplined mind. When you feel fear rising, ask yourself this powerful question: what is the worst that can happen? Most of the time, the honest answer is rarely fatal. You might fail, you might look foolish, you might lose time, but you'll gain strength, wisdom, courage, and clarity. Failure is a bruise, not a tattoo. And fear, when confronted, becomes fuel. It sharpens your instincts, quickens your mind, and gives you superhuman focus. In fact, the more fear you feel, the greater the opportunity often is. Fear is a clue, a compass, pointing you toward the next level of your life. Understand this: the man or woman who runs from fear will spend their life running. The one who faces it will own their destiny. It is better to fail chasing your highest vision than to succeed at something you never wanted in the first place. Success without purpose is hollow. Security without growth is suffocation. Your fear does not want you to die. It wants you to survive, but survival is not living. You were not born to survive. You were born to create, to expand, to live so fully that your very life becomes a message to those who come after you. I was afraid, but I did it anyway. because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. Ask yourself tonight, what am I running from? The job you hate but won't leave? The business idea that keeps knocking on your mind at 3 a.m.? The conversation with someone you love that you're too afraid to have? Freedom is standing right behind the door marked fear. You don't need permission to open it. You only need decision. Life rewards the bold. Success dances only with those who have the courage to show up when it's uncomfortable. If you wait for the fear to leave, you'll be waiting until your final breath. Fear never disappears. It simply changes disguises. But every time you move through it, you teach your mind that its illusions hold no real power. Each day you hesitate is another day stolen by fear. Each day you step forward is a day reclaimed by faith. Your destiny doesn't demand perfection. It demands participation. It asks only that you act, that you step into the arena, bruised, nervous, shaking if you must, but that you step in anyway. You were born to do something significant. You are not here by accident. And the greatest lie fear ever told you is that you are ordinary. You're not. The fact that you dream, that you feel this burning inside you, means something greater is trying to live through you. The fear you feel right now is not a warning to stop. It's proof that you are standing at the edge of transformation. So rise, not tomorrow, now. Take one small step toward what terrifies you most, then another and another. Build momentum. Each act of courage compounds like interest on your soul. Soon, the same fear that once controlled you becomes the force that propels you. Remember this truth. Fear doesn't leave. It only learns to serve. Make it your ally. Let it sharpen your instincts and deepen your hunger. Let it remind you that you're alive. The presence of fear is the ultimate confirmation that you're aiming higher than your comfort zone. And that is exactly where your greatness begins. You are far more powerful than the voice that tries to convince you otherwise. Don't wait for confidence to appear. Act your way into it. Don't chase motivation. Create it through movement. The man or woman who takes bold, decisive action in the face of fear will accomplish more in a single year than most do in a lifetime of hesitation. Because in the end, fear will not vanish. It will ask one final question before you die. Did you obey me, or did you rise above me? And your answer, your life itself, will echo for eternity. So rise above it now. Your destiny depends on it.